This is an All Ears English podcast, episode 1870. Are you dating yourself? How to refer to history of fashion, movies, and TV.
Welcome to the All Ears English podcast, downloaded more than 200 million times. Are you feeling stuck with your English? We'll show you how to become fearless and fluent by focusing on connection, not perfection. With your American hosts, Lindsay McMahon, the English adventurer, and Michelle Kaplan, the New York radio girl, coming to you from Colorado and New York City, USA. And to get your transcripts delivered by email every week, go to allearsenglish.com/subscribe. When you open up a conversation, you want to be able to refer to moments that might give away your age. How can you do this in English? Find out in this episode.
Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
I'm doing great, Michelle. How's everything going on your end?
Everything is good. Everything is good. You know what? I may be dating myself, but I used to love watching Full House. Did you watch Full House?
Absolutely. I watched all of TGIF. So TGIF was a Friday night network in the 80s. So yeah, I'm dating myself too, Michelle. I am embarrassed to admit it, but yes, I did. I was around in the 80s, yes.
Me too. I loved watching Full House, and yeah, when Bob Saget died, it was definitely a huge blow, because he was like everyone's TV dad of like our generation, right?
Kind of, yeah. He was like the dad that sits down and teaches you the lesson after you've learned the lesson. He articulates it for you, right? Sit on his knee and that kind of thing. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that just happened a few months ago, right? That he passed away.
Yeah, he was so great. So that was a big shock. But I am dating myself talking about watching Full House for sure. I mean,
you are.
Lindsay, this expression, not to change then all of a sudden switched from that, because that really was upsetting to me. But so on, I believe it was episode 1795, we were using this expression, and we were saying like, oh, I'm dating myself. Oh, you're dating myself. I'm dating like, oh, I'm dating you. And like, we're dating ourselves. And like, it sounded so funny, and we had to kind of clear it up.
I do have to say, it sounds weird. It sounds like you mean you're going out on a date with yourself. That's very strange.
Do you remember this? Do you remember this when we were talking about that? And I realized how funny it sounded, and we were like, well, we got to do an episode about this. So this is a really fun one.
I love it, because it's not about dating, romantic dating, nothing about that, guys. So we're going to tell you what it's all about and how you can use this. I think this is a very smart term. Yeah. I think that it conveys that you understand like history, and you understand time periods of when things happened. And it's also a little humbling. You're showing that you're humble. Like, you're not like, you're a kid, like, whatever. We're just saying we know how old we are. Okay.
Right. It's saying I know how old I am. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, it sounds funny. But yeah, it means that if you're dating yourself, you're kind of revealing something about your age, because you're talking about something that was popular, a time period. It's thought to be revealing that maybe I think it's used more for if you think you're coming off as a little older, maybe older than you seem, right? Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of want to name what you think other people are thinking. That's the point of this phrase, right?
That's true. That's true. You're like, I know.
You think I'm old, but yes, I had black and white TV. No, I didn't. I did not have black and white TV. But yeah, I mean, I find myself using this more and more often, Michelle.
That's okay. Me too. It's kind of a fun one. I mean, if you can, have a light sense of humor about it, if you don't take getting older so seriously, it's fun. It's fun to use it. So we're going to talk about this today. Lindsay, we want to remind our listeners and our viewers, right? Because we're on YouTube.
On YouTube. Yes. This episode is on YouTube, guys.
That's right. To go to allearsenglish.com/fluency score, because there you can take a super short quiz, get your level, know where you are in this moment of time with your English skills, with your fluency, and get resources for your level.
Exactly. Go over there, guys. Go to allearsenglish.com/fluency score. Get your score in a simple 2-minute quiz. So good. Okay, Michelle, let's dive into this phrase a little bit here. Again, it's very humbling when you hear yourself using it more and more, because that means you're getting older.
Okay. So, I mean, when would we use it? Lindsay, do you think this is good for connection?
Oh, this is definitely a connection skill. It shows a cognizance, right? You are cognizant of the fact that, you're not the youngest person in the world, but it's fun because you're referring to different things from different time periods. You could talk about your childhood memories, the favorite things, the culture at that moment.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just one of those good connection topics. And, it also might be good for like feeling out how old other people are.
Yes, because when we get, probably into our 30s, you don't want to just go and say, how old are you? Right. Instead, are you laughing about the same things? Like, are you sharing, the same fashion trends that you wore in when you were a teenager?
Right.
That kind of thing.
Right, exactly. I mean, so it is really fun. I mean, this makes me think a lot about TV reboots. Like, I know they had the Full House one, and then Sexy in the City, Sex in the City. No, and just like that, which we've talked about how neat really got into that. But I feel like this is really good for talking about TV shows that you used to watch if they're coming out. Like, I may be dating myself, but I watched the original Full House, not the new. Because there was that new one, right?
Sure, of course, and absolutely. I mean, there's some really old ones. Like, did you watch? I'm dating myself now by even asking you this question, Michelle. Did you ever watch Life Goes On? That show, Life Goes On. Oh my God. I must sound so old right now. It was a show from the mid 80s. I must have been like 6 or 7. And it was a family just dealing with current modern issues. Like there was AIDS on the show. That was a current issue in the 80s that was very pertinent. And that was brought up in a way to introduce to families to educate kids around AIDS, right? But it was also just a family living in a home together and dealing with life. So just by asking you if you knew that show, now I feel really old. You don't even know what it is.
No, but you know what? But it's kind of funny though, because sometimes people like to watch older shows. It doesn't necessarily mean, I love the show I Love Lucy, and that was from the 50s. So
that's really old. Yeah.
I wouldn't say, it would be weird if I was like, I may be dating myself now, but I watched I Love Lucy because I'm not, because 70 years old. It's that, these older shows were popular. But if I said, I used to watch I Love Lucy on Nick at Night, then that's kind of more putting me into how interesting.
So there's a difference, right? Because when I said I'm dating myself, but Life Goes On, right? Because no one knew that show. That was a more lesser known show, but everyone knows I Love Lucy. And I think, was it Lucille Ball who just died? Yeah. Is that her name?
Oh, no. She died. No. Oh no, Lucille Ball died a long time ago.
Who's Betty White. Yeah, Betty White. So she was the star, one of the stars, and she just passed away. So
she was on Golden Girls.
Oh my gosh, Michelle, my pop culture knowledge. You have to save me here. I'm going to stop talking.
Goodbye. No, just.
So anyways, it's more pertinent in the culture broadly. Right. I Love Lucy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So just a couple of examples. Like I said, I may be dating myself, but I still remember watching the original Full House when I was homesick from school. So there I'm putting it not only the show in the time, but also that I was home from school. So it shows how old I was when I watched it, basically.
Or I'm dating myself, but I think the original Sex and the City was much better. I think a lot of us. So the original Sex and the City came out in the aughts, right? The early aughts, late 90s.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yes. So can we use this at work, Michelle? Can we use it professionally in business?
I think that we can. It's certainly, at the office, there's all sorts of taboos around talking about age and things like that. But But like, I think that it could be used. So like, here, let's give an example. So I'm a partner at a firm and Lindsay, you are an intern.
All right, here we go. I like your sweater.
Thanks. I may be dating myself here, but I remember when these were first in style.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, Michelle. It's a taboo to ask in an interview what your age is. Obviously, it's actually illegal. Right. Yeah. And then it's a taboo maybe in certain scenarios to directly say, hey, how old are you? I want to know because it's going to place me, right? It's going to place you. But these kinds of things, these are ways we can reveal our age in a softer way and have fun with it. Right.
Yeah, these can be good for casual conversations at work. I think it's important that you say it about yourself, right? Like, I mean, or if you could be joking with a friend, like a close friend, and be like, "Oh, you're dating yourself there," like,
or you're really dating yourself there. But a friend, I would be careful about a coworker that you don't know quite as well, right?
Oh yeah, that we want to make sure we're clear on. You could also say something like, "I don't want to date myself, but." Right. So like, oh, I don't want to date myself, but I remember when Friends aired its final episode. Right.
Yes, exactly. And of course, you are dating yourself by saying that, but it's just another way to open up the phrase. Open it up. OK.
Right. So it's often with, I think, pop culture, historical events. It could be fashion, like, because fashion always goes around like and is popular at different times, and then it's popular again, and then it's popular again. Right.
I would also say maybe things like architecture or color palettes. I often think about like the R train, how it's brown and orange, and how that is so dated because that's very 70s.
That's right. To call something dated, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, what does that mean? What does that mean? You just explained it, but explain it.
Just open up an extension episode for another day. But yeah, so when I think of color palettes or architecture, you look at a building, like a lot of buildings, government buildings in Boston are very dated because they look like they were made in the 70s. These ugly blocks of cement that have no class, no windows. They're just very dated. So that's how we use that to describe something. Architecture, fashion, color palettes that we know go back to a certain time. Yeah.
Right. So now that we've explained this, we are going to... Recently, we've been playing games. We played a not my forte game. So today we're going to play a game and see if we are dating ourselves. And I don't mean going on dates with ourselves.
I know. I hope our listeners know that by now.
Yes. But I never realized how funny it sounded. Okay. Lindsay, what was your favorite TV show as a kid?
Oh, no. I am definitely going to date myself. It's Punky Brewster.
Okay.
Do you even know what that is?
Yes, I do know Punky Brewster. I never watched it, but I do know the title. I do know Punky Brewster.
And therefore I'm old. So what about you, Michelle?
I'll say Saved by the Bell.
Okay. Yep. Same here. I like that one too. Favorite movie as a kid?
Father of the Bride. Same as an adult.
Yeah. Mine was probably something like The Black Stallion, which I don't know if you've ever even heard of that. An old Francis Ford Coppola movie, actually.
Oh, really?
From the 70s. Yep. Definitely dating myself now. Michelle, favorite style as a kid? Favorite thing to wear?
I am going to say those black platform shoes that had a very thick strap. Do you remember those?
I think I do.
What about you?
It. Oh, maybe something like a slap bracelet.
Oh. Yes, very good. What about favorite band as a kid? Did you have a favorite band?
I actually think I had better taste in the beginning of my music life, or I had actual taste. I really loved Aerosmith, or I was listening to a Janet Jackson album. She was my first CD, Janet Jackson. So what about you? Favorite band as a kid?
Well, my first CDs I remember was Spice Girls and also The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Those were my two first
Lauryn
CDs.
Hill. Oh, that's not bad. I feel like she would hold up. Lauryn Hill would hold up. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. So I'll say as a kid, like, I guess it's different because like as a teenager, it became in the boy bands and the whole mess. But I'll say Spice Girls.
Okay, Spice Girls. Perfect. Favorite food as a kid?
I guess, well, French fries then, French fries now.
Yeah, I like that. Mine probably mac and cheese out of the box, you know? I mean, that's only because, and that holds up too. And I keep saying holds up. What's that? What does that mean as a bonus phrase for our listener?
It's still popular now.
It's aged well. It's okay. You could still say that's your favorite now because we as a culture love mac and cheese, Michelle. We love it. So
I almost said mac and cheese, just so you know. So we almost said the same one.
Favorite historical event.
I said favorite historical event. Favorite.
Yes.
Just a historical,
or just
maybe not favorite historical event. Maybe most intense, which would be 9/11, of course.
Yeah, let's not say favorite.
Not favorite, but for me, 9/11.
For me, my most notable one would be the Challenger, and it makes me think of the show. That's why I think I like the show. This Is Us. Because the last episode of This Is Us, they had the kids. I think those kids are exactly my age. They had those kids in school watching the Challenger. Guys, it was a really important moment in history where it was the first time an American teacher was going to space, and all the kids in all the schools were watching this moment. Every classroom had this on. And unfortunately, there was an accident, there was an explosion, and the teacher didn't survive. Right, Michelle? Right. Yeah, really it was a sad moment. And I think for a lot of kids my age, it was a loss of innocence. We're like, oh, how did that happen? It was a really important moment. Yeah, really sad. So
not favorite historical events. Again, no. Guys, 9/11 and the Challenger, they're just things that we really remember.
Exactly. So this is good. I mean, again, another super useful slang expression, guys, not something you're going to learn in your textbook, right, Michelle?
Right. No, you're not going to learn this there. And it's important because if you hear people talking about dating themselves, then you know what in the world that means. You don't have to think, what's going on here?
Exactly. I love it. I mean, part of connecting is talking about history, talking about trends and what's happened in the past. And honestly, this is the substance of a good conversation, right? This is the good stuff that we want to get into to really connect. So go for it, guys. Use this in your next conversation.
All right, Lindsay, this was fun. And guys, try this out today.
All right. Take care, Michelle. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to All Ears English. Would you like to know your English level? Take our 2-minute quiz. Go to allearsenglish.com/fluency score. And if you believe in connection, not perfection, then hit subscribe now to make sure you don't miss anything. See you next time.